ask your question. So what is UI? What is UX? And the simple definition is UI means user interface, and UX means user experience. So let me share another screen. This is just what we are doing today, but let me share another screen that has more on UI UX. Okay, please, you should be seeing UX versus UI.
Yes, we can see your Figma screen, and then you see
Okay.
UI versus UX. Yes, that's what
Okay.
we're seeing.
Yes. So just that's what I will just touch on. But then that's like the second thing. But before we get into the key differences between UX and UI, let me just explain what it means on a general note. So UX means user experience and UI means user interface. And then what that means in terms of digital products. So product design in generally, the word product design is not necessarily just for digital products. And what I mean by digital products are products that work on either your phone, your laptop, your tab. So product design generally can be for anything. So there are product designers that design cars. There are product designers that design blenders. There are product designers that design dispenser, refrigerators, and all of that. And it's the same principle that works for digital products, which is your website, your mobile app, or your web application. It's the same principles that work in digital products, product design, that also work for physical products, product design. I hope that's not confusing. But for our class, we'll be dealing more with digital products type of product design. So starting with UX, UX means user experience, and it simply just means how the user gets to experience, flow, and work with the products that you have designed. So if you are designing a website, a mobile app, or anything at all, the user experience is how easy is it for your users to go from point A to point B in the work that you have done? How easy is it for the users to complete a certain action in the design that you have done? How easy is it for your users to know how to walk through the app with little to no guidance from you that you designed it? So UX puts you in the minds of the users, and there are so many steps in UX, and maybe today or as we go on, we will touch on those different steps. But the majority thing in UX is you have to know that you are not designing for yourself. You're not designing for just your family members. You're not designing for just your friends. You're designing for people that you may never see, people that you may never know. So you have to ensure that every action you will take in the design must be something that has been based on research. So the very first thing we do in UX is to research about the users. So who are the people going to use this website? Who are the people going to use this mobile app? Are they young people? Are they old people? Are they blind people? Are they deaf people? All of these indices would affect how you would use your colors, your shapes, your typography, and all of that when it comes to the actual design, which is the UI. So UX starts with the users, understanding the users, doing your research to know who are these people, what do they want, what do they like, and how would I work with them to achieve the best use of this application with little to no guidance from anybody. So once all of that is done, and like I said, there are different parts to it. There is user persona, there is research, there's user flow, there's information architecture. I'm sure as we continue, we will know what these things mean and how to go about each of them. But when you have a good understanding of who your users are, what they want, and how it is going to affect the application, that is when you can then move to UI. And UI is the user interface, meaning what your users see, what your users touch, what your users feel. So it is the look and feel of your work, of your digital products, of your website, of your mobile app. So user interface now works with like your creativity in terms of your design, animation, colors, illustration, and all those good creative stuff that we would see as we go on. And that is where your design skills really come in. But your UX is the foundation for the UI so that you are not using the colors, the shapes, the animation in the wrong way. Because at the end of the day, you can design something that is very beautiful. But if it is not usable, easily usable by your users, then the purpose of that design has been missed. So it's not about how beautiful your design can be. It's not about how wonderful your design can be, but it is your design should be beautiful, your design should be wonderful, but at the same time, it should meet the needs of the intended users for that application. So you start from the users, you know what they need, you know what the app is going to be or the website before you come into the UI, which is user interface. So touching on the first two topics from the curriculum, the key differences between UX and UI. So now that is what I've just done is just a broad overview of UX and UI. So now when we talk about the differences, we have a few. And as I've mentioned, I'm sure you would already have an idea of some of these differences between UX and UI. UX design is all about identifying and solving user problems, and UI design is about creating intuitive, aesthetically pleasing, interactive interfaces. So, like I said, the UX is more focused on who the users are, what do they want, how do we solve their problem, and then the UI is all about creating something that is beautiful, an interface that is nice and very aesthetically pleasing. UX design usually comes first in the product development process, followed by the UI. The UX designer maps out the bare bones of the user's journey. So remember, I said you want to know how easy it is for your users to carry out certain actions in the work you are doing. So that is their journey through the application. Is it smooth? Is it easy? Is it very understandable? So that is what the UX is all about. And then the UI designer fills it in with visual and interactive elements. So that is colors, shapes, animations, and all that creative work. UX can apply to any kind of product, service, or experience. And I think I also mentioned that too. That is not just for digital products, it can be for anything because whether a car, whether a refrigerator, whether a freezer, users, it is that product has been created for users. So the principles of UX still work on physical products as well as they work on digital products. But then user interface is really specific to digital products and digital experiences. So that is the things we use on our mobile phones, the things we use on laptop and tabs and digital devices. So a little bit of more differences between UX and UI. So UX is human first, and then it considers the overall experience for the user. UI is talking about the interactive elements in the digital products. So some of the job description, if I use that word, for a UX designer: conducts user research, determines information architecture, creates wireframe and prototypes, conducts usability testing, and then tests the products. For a UI designer, some of the key things: chooses color, chooses typography, designs buttons, icons, animations, and you just create a visual style guide for the application that we are trying to build. So once again, the UX might in 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 the real sense, what's the work for a UX designer and the work for a UI designer. In the real sense, they are separate. But most of the time, you see people doing both. And it is encouraged, especially when it comes to like the job markets. It is encouraged in Nigerian or African job markets. If you as a designer, you know how to do both. But if you think you want to focus on one, then all the best to you. Maybe you're looking for people like Microsoft and Google to hire you. But if you're looking for majorly Nigerian companies, African companies, you may need to learn both UX and UI. So UX may not focus with core design, that is your creativity. But then as a UI designer, you then come into the design to use your colors, your visual style, typography, shapes to create the actual products that the users would be using at the end of the day. So those are really the key differences between UX and UI. And I've already started with the next points, which is career prospects and opportunities in UI UX. So honestly, the in Nigeria there is still it is still, I mean, it's a good market, and it is actually still being is coming up. I won't say it is oversaturated. No, I won't use that word at all, because every day with the change in trends and technology and AI and all of that, there is a need for UI UX designers, because more businesses are looking to go digital than physical. More organizations are looking to do so many things with technology, and the majority of them would involve the need for design. And there are so many career paths once you can learn the skill. Number one is obviously being a UI UX designer or being a product designer. So with that, you do the research and then you design the actual product. So even as a UI UX designer, depending on your level, your skill set, and your just the opportunities that come to you, you can now decide to say that, okay, I want to be a UI UX designer for only fintech companies. And I'm pretty sure you know what fintech means. Or you want to be a UI UX designer for only health tech companies, like our fashion tech person. You can say you want to be a UI UX designer for only fashion enterprises. And you can continue to specialize down and down. You can say you want to do only UI UX for real estate and maybe for health enterprises. So you're not looking to work with just anybody. But once it's a real estate company or a job you get that is real estate, you're there. So you can be a UI UX designer for everybody. You can also decide to be a UI UX designer for specific markets, for specific markets. But in my little career, that I would advise that please, when you're starting, don't start trying to say you want to only design for fintech, you want to only design for logistics. You might be hungry in Nigeria. So first off, I would just advise that you start as a generalist in UI UX, as a generalist. And then after some years of experience and then knowledge increase and then your work to, you can then decide you want to specialize into, okay, this fashion tech now is me and you. You sit down and then you continue to build innovation in that specific field. But if you're just starting out and you're just saying you're not doing anything apart from fintech, okay, I commit into the hands of the Lord. So another thing regarding career for UI UX is there are now, because of technology, automation, there are other things that need product design. I'm sure we know of Web3. I'm sure we know of the crypto or the blockchain world. I'm sure we also know of Microsoft Power Platform markets. So these are other markets that need product designers or UI UX designers. So the Web3 space and the way designs are done there are slightly different from the way designs are done for your regular apps, or the blockchain space, or even the power platform space too. There are things that go on in those spaces that are not the same everywhere, but then the key principles are the same thing, but maybe a few things on the UI side is what will change. So I'm trying to give us the knowledge that there are opportunities for you as a UI UX designer. And with, once again, the growth and the trend, you can work remotely, you can work for international organizations from Nigeria, you can travel, and those opportunities are there for you as a designer. So before I go to topic 2, introduction to Figma, and just trying to set up and give a few things. Do we have any questions on this UI UX, the differences, what they mean, how to start off? Do we have any questions? Okay, I think we are good. I don't think we have any questions. Okay. Okay, so let me go on with the class. So I want to touch on introduction to Figma now. Introduction to Figma. So you would bear with me because my slides for this particular side has not been 100% done. I was still just trying to get it ready. So it might not be as, should I say, as I would love it to be. So please just bear with me if you see something that may be off in the slides. But then let's start and we will see how far we can go with introduction to Figma. Okay, so now we've talked on UX, we talked on UI, and for the UI parts, the major tool or the major design tool that is used is called Figma. And Figma is a collaborative design tool that you can use to design for both mobile and for web. Please give me a minute, please. Okay, I'm back. So Figma is the tool that you can use to create the designs for UI, your user interface. And then before I even go on, is it every one of us that has a Figma account? I think we can start from there before I then start showing us what is in the app and then how to navigate. So first thing is, do we all have a Figma account? I need the response. Do we all have Figma accounts?
So they are putting it in the chat window and then they're saying nope, no, 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 no. I'm saying no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the no looks more than the yes. Okay. So before I even start talking about what is Figma and all of these things, so because I believe as we go on, MJ, there will be projects, there'll be assignments, and all of that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sure there will be projects, there will be assignments, and we would need Figma to actually do all of that. So let's start with everyone getting Figma on their laptop. So Figma works best on laptop. There's Figma for phone, but I promise you, you won't be able to do 50% of what you actually want to do if you use it on phone. So I advise you use it on your PC, your laptop, and how to get it started. just go to, let me go to another browser, because if I use this one, it will pick my account. You need to go to figma.com. Let me share that screen. Yes, no, yes, okay. So we would first of all get Figma for everyone. Then we can then go back to the class where we are showing what is Figma and then how to use it. So let me, I'm sure you guys can see. Yes, okay. So first off, please go to Figma, figma.com. Open it on your browser. So this is for those that have not gotten the Figma, they've not opened their Figma account. Please go to figma.com, and I believe we are there now. So you should be seeing this. If you can see my screen, this is what you should be seeing when you go to figma.com. So first off, you can, to create your account, you can click Get Started for free. Click on Get Started for free. If you have a Gmail, you can easily use your Gmail account to create it. If you don't have your Gmail, if you are using any other type of, email, you can type it here, Microsoft, yahoo.com, anyone at all that you are using. So type your email, create a password, and then you create your account. So I want to use my Gmail, so I might not need to do email and password. I can just click continue with Google. But if you are not doing that, you need to use your email, and your email must be the email that you actively use, and then you type in your password and you create your account. So let me know once we are there. Once that is done, it should bring you to this screen that is coming up now. It should bring you to this screen that's coming up now. So the people that we are saying no, are we there? Have you created your account using your email, whether Gmail or any other thing? So let me start. The people that said no: Olaoluwa, Nofisat, Joanne, Olanikpekun, Rachel, Sandra. Have we all created our Figma accounts now? And to the guys that already have Figma accounts, you can just open it and just get it ready before we continue with the class. So please let me know. I need to know if we are on track with opening our Figma accounts. Please, are we there? Anybody, any answer? Okay. Yes, I just did. Okay, thank you. Olalu has opened the accounts. The other participants that said, okay, you're on it. So please just let me know I'm in. Thank you. Joanne Onokpe, sorry about it. Olanikpekun, Rachel, Nofisat. So let me know your current status. Have you opened it? Are you yet to open it? Are you having challenges? So that everyone is on the same page. Then we start talking about the different parts of Figma and how to work with it. So let's do this as quickly as possible. We have barely 30 minutes. Done. Okay. On is trying to verify my email. Okay. We are waiting for your feedback. Who has not given me an answer yet? Rachel. Has Rachel said anything? No. Maybe she's not here. Then Nofisat too has not said anything regarding whether she's done. Joanne on it. So please let's know. And once you have opened it, just like I said, let it be showing, where's my screen? Where's my screen? Yes, this. Let it be showing just your Figma page. So it should be showing you what is on my screen right now after you sign into your account on your browser. So let me go back to the charts on it. Olanik Pekun, are you done now? Have you verified your email? Thank you, Olanik Pekun. So I think we have a good amount of yes now. Rachel, okay, you're still on it. I didn't get any answer from Nofisat at all. No comments from, I think think we can start. I think we can go on. So just briefly, I want to show maintenance. Okay, the officer is there now. Still on it, trying to verify. Okay. So please let's know on it. So Rachel, Nofisat, I think you're the last people we are waiting for. Can we go now? I think we can. Rachel, Nofisat, can we go? Are we
I
good?
think we can go because the session is recorded and then they will
Okay.
always have access to it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Then.
So once you have created your Figma account, then I can go back to talking about the different things, the different parts of Figma, and then we might even just touch on number 3 again from our topic from today. So getting started with Figma, the tools, the panels, navigation. So I should be able to do number 2 and 3 today. So once again, this is Okay, well, this is what Figma looks like in a picture. So this is not how it looks like. This is just a picture. So I'm sure on your let me just go to my own verified. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now I'm sure you're seeing my own Figma account. So Figma is the app that is most common for UI design, and one of the major advantages of using Figma is that it is very easy to collaborate with other people on the app or in the app. So you can you can also give access levels when you want to share your work with someone, and we'll touch on all those ones. But the major advantage is it's very easy to collaborate with other people. So if you're in a team, you're working with a team of designers, it's very easy to collaborate with them using Figma. So this is what it looks like on first open. I want to open just a page so that we see what it looks. Okay, I think I was too fast. Let me go back. So by the top right, you should see somewhere called new design file. Let this open first. You should see new design file. When you click on it, it should open a file for you. Why is my own now wasting time? Sorry about that. I'm not so sure why it is wasting time. But once it opens up, let me open my other Figma account. So like I said, this is what it looks like. So when you open a file, it should look something like this. This is where we should be now. So let me start from an empty. So usually this is called like a Figma board or a canvas board. And you can also call it a Figma board. Number 1, we have this entire center space. This is where you do your design. So it is usually called, I'm sharing this. So it's called the canvas, where you do your design. The left-hand side is called the layers panel. On the layers panel, as you design, as you add things to your canvas, your middle panel, you will be seeing them appear one after the other on the left-hand side, which is the layers panel. Then the right-hand side is called the inspect panel or the properties panel. And this is where you make adjustments to the different shapes, the different design elements that you have. So right-hand side, left-hand side, layers panel, you see what you are doing. On the right-hand side, properties panel, you can make adjustments to the color, to the size, to the fonts, which is the text. You can make adjustments to different things on the properties panel. Then the top left-hand bar. So where you can see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 icons is usually called the tools menu. And that is where you'll be using that virtually every time you have a work to do. So once again, layers panel, left, properties panel, right, middle canvas, top section is the tools menu. So I will just now touch on how to use some of these tools and how to work with frames, and just trying to show us how to start with Figma on a very minimal level. So first off, let me also share some shortcuts. Okay, the tools. Okay, let me continue from here. The tools menu. The first one is called the main menu. The next one, which has this arrow, is called the move tool. The next one, where my mouse is now, is the frame tool. The next one is the shape tool. The next one is the drawing tool. The next one is text. The next one is the and tool. The next one is the comment tool. When we actually start designing, you would remember them much easier. Move to frame to shape to drawing, text, and comments. And we have shortcuts for each of them. Move tool is V on the keyboard. Frame tool is F on the keyboard. Comments tool is C on the keyboard. And tool H, text tool T, drawing tool is P. But let's also do that. Okay. Layer, I've talked on layers panel and I've talked on properties panel. Yes. So I think the next thing is now, let's just do a rough demo now with Figma. So first thing is, from this top menu, if you come to the third one, which is, you can see it, shape tool. If you click the drop down arrow, that tiny arrow beside it, you will see rectangle, line, arrow, ellipse, polygon, star, place image. So if you, and by the right, you see the shortcuts for each of them. So R is for rectangle, L is for line, O is for circle, that is ellipse or circle. So let's just select rectangle. You can see that the mouse icon has changed. So if you then come into the middle section, which is your canvas, you can just click on it and then drag. It should draw, can drag as much as you want. It should draw something for you like this. So I know we have some senior people and in the class, and this is not really new to you. But for the first timers, I really hope you are doing as I'm doing. So I want to just touch on the different tools here and how you can use them. Starting with the shape tool, we have R for rectangle. So you select it, you bring it to your middle section, you click, and then you drag. And you can make it as long, you can make it as long, you can make it as short, you can do whatever you want with it in the middle section. So that is for rectangle. The same thing goes for the next one. The next one there. Remember I said the left is layers panel. You can see now rectangle 1, because we have added it to the canvas. Rectangle 2, you can see that they are all appearing on the layers panel. So the same thing too for the other one. So you can just click, select this line now. You click on your screen and then you drag. You click and drag. So you release when you want to release, and then it draws a line. If your line is not straight, you need to hold down Shift on your keyboard, the Shift key, and then it will be a straight line, either vertically or horizontally. Once again, you would see that they are appearing on the layers panel. Then you can just keep trying. The O for circle, you click and then you drag. If you realize that your circle is not equal in dimension, hold down shifts on your keyboard, and then you have a circle that is equal in dimension. So that's for shapes. Then this next one is frame. So if you click it, you will see frame. And as you click on frame, by this right-hand side, the properties panel, you would see different frames come up. So you have phone, tablet, desktop, different things. So this would help you if you want to design specific, meaning that if you now want to design for iPhone 14 or 15 Pro, you don't need to start thinking, what is the size of iPhone 14? What is the size of iPhone 15? No, just click on frame from the top left hand bar, come to the properties panel, right hand side, and then you select the size you want. So if you just tap on iPhone 14, this is the size of your iPhone 14 or iPhone 15. And then you can do your design inside this frame. So it's called a frame. You can do it inside this frame, and you would be sure that when it is eventually developed and built as a real life application, it would actually be the same thing when it is actually on a real mobile phone. So that's another advantage of using Figma. So you know the exact shape and the exact size of either your iPhone, Samsung, but then you have to look at what they have. So they majorly have just iPhones, but also for desktop, if you see, they also have MacBook 16, MacBook 14, desktop, anyone. So if you click desktop, then you know that the average laptop should be able to work with whatever you design on this size of screen, desktop. So once again, as you keep selecting different things and drawing them, it will keep appearing on your layers panel by the left. So let me take a pause here and ask if, especially the newcomers, if we are following. Are we all following the newcomers, or should I go back and touch on something again?
Yeah. Please, I would like to ask you a question regarding this frame.
Okay.
While working inside the frame,
Mm-hmm.
can we, okay, for example, I'm using iPhone 14 and it gives me the shape of an iPhone 14. While
Okay.
working in it, can I widen and expand the frame? And if I
Dimension.
do that, would it affect the shape?
Okay. I
I don't
understand
know
the
if my
question. So
question is clear.
yes, I understand your question. So can you see my screen now showing the iPhone 14 and 15 Pro? So if you
Yes,
expand, okay, if you expand it by width, meaning this way, how wide it
yes,
is, it's going to affect
yes,
your final work, because I mean, this is definitely not the size of an iPhone 14 or 15.
yes,
So if you expand it by height, you will not have an issue, because in real life, when whatever you have done is really like built and is actually in people's phone, all they need to do is scroll on their phone to see whatever you might have designed underneath. But what you can see just here now is just what anybody that uses iPhone 14 or 15 will see on their first screen without scrolling down, without scrolling up. So my advice is you can increase the length, meaning down, because in real life people will scroll, but it's not advisable to increase the width, because it's not so easy to say you want to scroll sideways on your phone. Do you understand?
okay. Yes, please, one more question. For a case where there is, okay, like Instagram story, where you have to swipe.
Yeah.
So how
How is it
would
done?
that? Yes,
Yes, so
because
there's a
since you can't
technique for
expand
that.
the width.
Yes,
Okay.
you won't expand the width, but there's a technique for that in Figma. I doubt if I can explain that now, but let me show you. Or can I
If
just
we are
quickly?
still going to get to that
Yeah, we
much
will still get
later,
to that,
then
but it's possible to do it in Figma. It's very possible that you do,
okay.
and you have that scrolling sideways effect, something like Instagram. Yes.
Yeah, if we would still get to that, maybe we shouldn't waste time since we're
Okay,
still going to
hopefully we
get
get
to
to
that.
that. I
Yes.
think someone else raised their hand. Quickly, let's ask so I
Okay,
can
hi.
touch on one of.
Okay,
Thank you.
one. I wanted to find out. So, what if I want to use it on two different devices? That's my design. I want it to be on a phone, a tablet, or let's say three phone, tablet, and a laptop. What frame should I use?
Uh, yes, so you can select the three different frames. So like now
Oh,
I have
okay.
phone, I have desktop, and I don't think they have for tab, but they have. I don't think they have for tab. So you might just have to get the size by yourself and then you do your design. You can design
No,
on
there's
your
tablets
phone.
there in the
There is,
free.
okay.
There's yeah.
Okay, yes, sorry. There's tablets, yes, good. So you select the one so you want for tablets, yeah. And you are good. You design on the 3 of them. There's
Okay.
there's actually another technique on, we call it responsive design, but I think that's too far for what we are learning now. But on a normal level, you can design on phone, desktop, tablets, and just try to maybe whatever was small in the phone might be bigger on the laptop screen. Whatever was big on the laptop screen would be smaller on phone. So that's just what you may need to do. But with responsive design, you can read on that is possible, is doable. Thank you. I think that is all the questions that we have. Joan, are you asking your question?
No, you've answered it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think
Thank
it's
you.
I
Chioma
have a
that still has
question,
an
please.
hand. Yeah.
Okay, please let's
Yes,
hear.
thank you.
Let's
All right, so previously, before now, I have a Figma account in my laptop, but I noticed that it stopped working at a point, and now it's requesting that I subscribe to it before I can be able to use it. Please, what can I do?
It's asking you to pay money.
Pay for subscription, yes, sir.
I pay now. Don't you have plenty money? You can just pay now. So if it's asking you to pay, then maybe something is wrong, because there's a free option. So unless if I have more details, I might not be able to help you directly. But there's a free option, and that is what we are all using. So if it's asking you to pay, maybe you clicked something, you went somewhere, and I'm not sure. So my advice would just be, if you can create another Figma account with another email, that should work out smoothly. But if you have money, please,
right.
why not pay?
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. So, thank you. Now, we've touched on the different tools, and we've seen how to bring in shapes. So just come to the tools menu, select it, click and draw. We've seen how to bring in frames. Come here, you see the different frames by the right. Select the one you want to use, and then it would come into your screen and you can work on it. So I want to touch on properties panel now, which is what I said is by the right hand side. So the properties panel actually works, or it is enabled, when you select an object, so a frame, a shape. Let me also do for text. Let me just do for text styles, so that we can see. So when you select any object in your design, meaning that you can see that when you click out, when you click just the empty canvas board, here is empty, so nothing is there. But if you select anything, you would see that some things will come out here. If you select the text, you would see some options will come out here. So I want to touch on the different options, what they mean, and how we can use them. So let's start with a shape. So if you click on a shape, you would see layers, you see fill, stroke, effects, export. So layer means we call it blend mode. That's what it's called. So there are different options here, and each one of them have different effects on the shape. So you would notice that as I'm moving through each option, you will see that the shapes, the color is actually changing if you take notes. So you will see that the color now, it has totally gone. So that's what blend mode means. So based on the color and based on the blend mode, it will have a different effect. So in actual practice, let's just quickly do small practical. If you give this a color, and then you bring this here, let's give it just another random color. Yeah, I want to just show you how the blend mode actually works. So now you select the circle and you come here. And you see, with the darken option, it changes a bit. Multiply, it changes. This is almost like black. Remember that it was first blue. you see that it is blue that we used, but with each option, you will get a different effect on the main elements that you selected. You can even see pink or purple. So depending on what you want to achieve with your design, you can use any of the blend modes. So that is for blend mode, which is under layer. Now under fill, this is the where you can select the color. So if you say fill color, it means the color that is like filling the shape, the object, the elements. And once you click on the box, that blue square, if you click on it, you would be able to select different colors. Also with this slider down, they can go from red, orange, yellow, and then you keep selecting. So under fill, you can select different colors that you want. And so I've changed it now to like a very dark, is this red or something? With stroke, when you click the plus icon, stroke means you are giving the elements a border line color. So let me not use black. Let me change it to white so we can see. Can you see that slim white color on the black? I think I can zoom in now. Okay, yeah. I'm sure we can see that white color. Then with this number here, you can increase the size. So if you change it from 1 to 9, you will see that it will get bigger. So this is UI, user interface, where all of these skills would come in handy. So you can change the color from that white to anything you want, green, red, blue. So you can just play around with this and test your hands on Figma. So that is for stroke. Then for effects, we have, I think 4, yeah. Inner shadow, drop shadow, layer blur, background blur. So with drop shadow, I'm sure we can see this slight shadow just underneath the shape. And if you increase so you can see it is in 25%. So if you increase this to like 60%, you can see that the shadow has become much, let's say, thicker. Yeah, much thicker. So that is for drop shadow. Layer blur, you can already see the effect is going to have. Then inner shadow is the shadow just comes inside, but that one is drop shadow. So once again, these are things that can help you in your UI skills. But remember, we started with UX, which means user experience. So it is not every work that you are going, or every project that you might need to be using all these drop shadows and things. Because, for example, now, if you are designing for elderly people that may have eye issues, things like this can actually confuse them from the main goal of your application, but they are there for your creative abilities. Then we have exports. So just as the name goes, exports means you want to get an image, a shape, a frame. You can export it as PNG, which is picture, JPEG, picture, SVG, scalable vector graphics. That is, or PDF. SVG is a format that you can use in other softwares. SVG is a format that you can use in other softwares, other applications to use. So for example, now if I click this and I export as JPEG, then I click this exports. So you will see it has finished exporting, and then in your file, you'll be able to see, okay, I'm not showing that screen. But then if you go to your file storage, you would see what you have exported. So that is really for properties panel regarding a shape. Then let me show the one regarding text, which is typography. The same thing, you still have fill, you still have stroke, you still have effects, but the difference is now the text properties. So with this is the name of the font, Inter. So you have different fonts. You can see as you move your mouse over them, you'll be seeing the effects on the word that you have selected. So I have so many fonts. So you can download free fonts from the internet, and there are already some fonts in Figma that like comes with the app, but you can download more fonts. So that's the first thing. Then the next thing here, we have the fonts widths. So the fonts can be regular, medium, and each of them make the font appear thicker. Regular, medium, semi-bold, depending on what you want to do. So in practice, if you are designing like a mobile app or a website, maybe let's say like a website, maybe like the first thing would be a little bit bolder than your next text. So if you go to any website, if you go to any website, you will see that there is a central message that is bold. Then there's like usually a follow-up message that may not be as bold as the central one. So that is how they were able to achieve that kind of effect. So you can give it extra bold, black, depending on the font you are using. Then the next thing is the font size. So these are different sizes. So I mean, the bigger the number, the bigger the fonts, and down like that. So you can also just type in any number you want. You must not follow the numbers. You can type in any number, and then the fonts would adjust. So the lady that asked about designing on different devices, so that's really just what you would do. Maybe what was size 32 in desktop would be like size 16 in phone, and on to balance it out. Then the next thing, we have some other, those are the main things regarding the text, but we have some other options here that's, okay, let me try. So there's tracking, there's kenning. So these are design terms. And with this, you can increase the space between the letters. So can you see the text stylers? Can you see that it is getting bigger? The space in between the T, the E, the C, the H, down to, so if you take it back to 0, it will be normal. But if you take it to the minus, you can see the way the words are joining. So these are other things that you can do with line spacing. I think it's called tracking. Yes, it's called tracking. Then this is for line heights, but let me leave that for now. Then this is now also very important. This is how you align. So you can align to the left, align to the center, you can align to the right. If you click this button here, you also have some other options there. Here you can underline a text with this button. Here you can strike through, so you can auto capitalize. There are different things going on here that you can also just test out on your own. And yeah, so that's really on a basic level what Figma is all about. It's all about bringing in shapes, frames, texts, colors, and then working with us to create something good. Once again, you have everything on your layers panel, and as you select each one from your properties panel, you'll be able to make adjustments to it. So as we go on, you will be able to design beautiful interfaces that you'll be proud of. Let me just show something that I did some time ago with Figma. So at the end of the day, you'll be able to do something like this, or even what is like this. You'll be able to do things better than this. So the lady that asked about horizontal scroll, I actually did that on this app, and on this design, I'm sure you can see it. So it can work. I didn't increase the size of the width of the frame, but I made it possible. So yeah, it's possible. And you can also do the vertical scrolling. So there you can scroll vertically, and then you can scroll one side horizontally. So but of course, everything is frames, everything is color, typography, everything was in Figma. Is not extraordinary, but practice, continue with the class, practice on your own, watch YouTube videos, and then we would, even before the end of the class, you'll be able to create something that you'll be proud of. My I think I'm done, MJ, for this class today. Any question, any contribution, addition? I don't think Matt. Okay, Sandra. Let's sit and ask a question. Then
Okay.
Lara,
Good afternoon, sir.
good afternoon.
Thank you so much for all that you have taught us today. I really learned a lot. Just a brief background. I just delved into graphic design this year, and I currently I still do use Canva to do all of my work. So
Okay.
when you were taking us through, the Figma, the basics, I saw some similarities in the
Sure.
Canva app and this one as well. So I just wanted to ask, is there a reason why we're using Figma? Can we get the same results if we use, but from the ones that have used that is the Canva, can we get the same result with Canva, or is there a particular reason why by learning this UI and UX through the Figma platform? That's just what I
Okay.
wanted to ask. Thank you.
So, in response to that, I think number one reason why we are using Figma, it is industry standard acceptable platform for UI UX. Emphasis on industry standards. You can achieve the same thing with Canva. It might be a little bit stressful. It might not be as easy as I'm just moving my mouse here in Figma, but I think it's possible. But when you are talking of the job markets, you will hardly see opportunities for UI UX designer, and they will not tell you you should be able to design with Canva, hardly, or even close to zero. But on a certainty, if you see a UI UX role, best believe that you need to know how to use Figma to be able to work with that organization. So the major reason why is just industry standards. Figma is accepted worldwide, and it is better for companies, collaborations. So if with Figma, you can have multiple people working on a single file. I think that's possible to in Canva, but then it's just accepted worldwide, basically, that Figma is the best for UI UX. So for your graphic design, you can stick with Canva. That's fine. But if you really want to do UI UX, please, I would advise you learn Figma.
I don't know if Amina.
Thank
Amina
you
is
so
on the
much.
call. Everyone. Yes, the Amina was supposed to take this class, but she finally joined us. We're happy to have her. So Amina, I don't know if you want to add something to what Blossom has said.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're joining us from. I am so sorry for joining the class really late, but I'm really happy about the turnout, and I've been following. And my appreciation goes to my co-tutor. Thank you so much for filling in. I really appreciate it. I've been following your class. I've learned so much from what you have taught here today. I just want to tell you how grateful I am for stepping in as swiftly as you did. So welcome everybody to UIUX. Hopefully next week I would join my co-mentor to see how we can carry on with the class. You've covered so much today, and I'm really proud of the questions most of you are already asking. Just shows your intention to commit and really learn and upskill yourself. So I'd just like to say welcome, and I hope we would have like a really interesting journey. Design is fun. Design is interesting, and I believe that at the end of this cohort, we would succeed in turning you guys to professionals. So thank you once more. I don't have anything to add, but I'm just paying attention to most of your questions, and hopefully by next week we would also do some clarification